Hi everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Apologies for the long break, but I've had a bit of a chest infection and it's taken me a while to shift it. So thank you for sticking with me. You might notice my voice is a little bit funny during this video. I'm still getting over it, so please bear with me. But as a lot of you know, I make most of my own parts, and some of the tools that I use to make those parts, I often like to upgrade them. Now, one of the upgrades that I've wanted to do for an absolute age is to improve the tool post on my lathe. I appreciate not everybody's got a lathe, but I'm sure all of you are into tools, as most of us are. What we call this a quick change tool post, and the reason for that is because when you're swapping between cutting tools, often you have to undo all these different bolts and change your tool out, etc. But with these tool posts, all you do is you release. This is the main tool post itself. You release this and it lets go of this tool, and basically you just swap the whole part out. And then what you do is you set them up so that when you put them back on, they're at the right cutting height, etc. for whatever work that you're doing. Now, if you're also into engineering and YouTube, then I'm sure you've probably heard the name Adam Booth, or ABOM79. Now, Adam is an absolute genius with machines, and I've been watching him for years. And ever since I saw him add one of these tool posts to his lathe, I've wanted one for mine. Now, I will say up front, it is not the cheapest option that is out there, but I have to say it is one of the best. It's one of the most adjustable, and there's a few benefits to using this type of tool post, which is called a multi-fix tool post, on your lathe. So what we'll do is we'll go over the parts that are included with the kit. We'll talk about the cost quickly. Then I will show you the tool post that I've got on my machine at the moment. And one of the most daunting things with this is actually selecting the right size tool post for your lathe, because it's very important that you don't get a tool post that's too high or too low, and it won't allow you to put the cutting tools to the right height. So Peter, who runs the company, which is Pewe Tools, has put together a little bit of a document which you fill out, and it gives you a like a diagram, and you can choose your tool post size from that. So we'll cover that. Hopefully we can then get the tool post onto the lathe, and we can just talk about it a little bit once it's fitted. So I'm based in the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, we're no longer in the EU due to Brexit. So there was a little bit of an additional cost there for me, which if you're outside of the EU, that you will incur that probably the same cost as well. So all in all, the kit that I bought, so you get the tool post, you get 4 of the tool holders, 3 are for normal tools and 1 is for a boring bar. So it comes with this extra little adapter. You get the chuck key for doing the tools up. You get the bolt, which should be to hold your tool post to your cross slide. You get this lovely anodized lever, which is how you tighten and loosen the tools once they're in the once the tool post is fitted. And then you get a hardness test to prove that obviously what you're buying is of a good quality, and it's been for quality control, etc. Now, I have no doubts at all that this is a quality tool. If you like tools like I do, the moment you get this tool, and you can feel the quality of it, you can see the anodizing on it, etc. Straight away you can tell that it's a great bit of kit. Just quickly gone over that. We'll put this to one side, and I'll get the diagram out, and then we can go through how you work out what size tool post you're going to need for your own lathe. Excuse me using the pencil as a pointer, but it's going to be easier than using my finger. So if you're familiar with the lathe, you're going to recognize that this is your chuck and this is your cross slide, and on your cross slide sits your tool post. And the critical heights that you need to measure are the center of your chuck to the base of your tool post, the width of the bolt that's going to hold down your tool post, which is D, the distance between what effectively will be where your cutting tool face will sit and the center of your tool post, and obviously the height of your tool post. So if we go over to my lathe quickly, we can take those measurements, and hopefully you can marry up sort of what measurements I'm taking to what you would need to take. Right, so we're over at the lathe, and hopefully you can tell that this is the chuck and this is the tool post, and this is my cross slide. So what I've done, I've put a pointed tap in the chuck, which should give us the centre point of my chuck. Now what I do, I'll take a measurement from the base or the top of my cross slide to the centre line, which I measure at 26 millimeters. So I shall write that on the chart. Then next we need the face of where a tool would sit. So if I put a tool in there now, there we go. Just move that back this way a bit, so hopefully you can see. And I measure from the front of the tool post holder to the center line of the tool post, which I measure at, do it in metric, be easier. So we'll say 52 millimeters. So again, we put that on our chart. Next one is the tool post height, which is a fairly straightforward, easy one, which is about 30. Again, it's not all that easy for me to show you because the camera's in the way. We'll say 38 millimeters in height. And then the last one, I'll take the tool post off and we'll talk about the last dimension quickly. Okay, so last dimension from here is the dimension of this spindle, which is going to hold down your tool post, which on mine is 10 millimeters. Now, a lot of these cheaper Chinese lathes have a short collar here at the bottom. Now, if you've got that collar, you may end up having to machine it off if it's bigger than, if I show you, if it's bigger than this diameter here, which we'll measure in a moment. Just measure that quickly. So at a rough guess, I'd say that's 20 millimeters, which is probably what that would be. Now, when I got my last tool post, I did have that collar, but I had to machine it off to get the tool post to fit. And I'm not too worried about that for rigidity because I know this is going to be a rigid one anyway. But what I have done is I've drilled and tapped this better than the original spindle when I've remade this spindle so it's harder. Now the kit does come with this hardened bolt, so it's going to be a bit long, but I think what I'll do, I will use this because it's a short head on the bolt as well, and I'd like to use all the parts from the kit. So all I need to do is take this bolt out and put this bolt in, but I'll have to cut it down a few threads. And that's pretty much it. The last thing that you need to know is the output of the motor of your lathe. Now, mine is less than the, I think it's 1.5 kilowatt. I had it in watts, so I had to work out the horsepower. But the paperwork allows you to do that. So if we go back over to the paperwork and start looking at the chart, and then we can whittle down which one that we will need to choose for our lathe. So just quickly showing you my lathe. Mine is a Chester, it's a British lathe, DB7 VS lathe. It's absolutely stunning to use. It's very rigid. A lot of these sort of Chinese made ones, they're very good, don't get me wrong, but they don't have the refinedness that this has. So we've got twin gibs for a start here, which makes it a lot smoother. And it's just the bearings and everything like that, and it is just much, much nicer. It is still classed as a, I think it's a 714 lathe, which basically means it's got a 7-inch throw, and you could potentially get 14 inches between the centres. But all in all, it's a very, very nice lathe to use. Perfect size for the sort of model hobby that I do. And I've got it nicely set up here. I've got my tooling behind. I've got a few sort of spare drill chucks that I put centres in, etc. Same thing with like the tool post really, so I don't have to keep swapping tools out all the time. So let's get back over to the paperwork, and then we can choose the right tool post for the lathe. Okay, so hopefully you can see this, and please take my word for it when I read it out, because obviously we just took the measurements. Measurement A So we look at the list on here, and we had 26 millimeters. So you go down the chart, we got, so basically from here upwards, too small. So we go down and we've got 26. So we fit within these three sizes here. So the width of our compound rest, apologies, I didn't cover that, but on mine it is 60 millimeters. So I'll just double check that. 60 millimeters. So that's the compound width, which I didn't measure on the camera, but I'm sure you can work that out. So mine's 60 mil. So it's between 59 and 65, obviously. The 65, the 70, and the 70 and the 79 are too long. So we've narrowed it down to this one. So we'll just go along and make sure. So my motor is not more than 1.5 kilowatts. B is your tool size. So you can use up to 16 millimeters tools. The AS system, which is, so if you go on the Pewe website, you'll see there's A, AA, AAA, AS, and then they go up B, C, D1, D2, etc. But they're obviously for big lathes. So again, we move further along. We can use up to a 16 millimeter tool. The AS size system is the one that we wanted and we've got. The holder type, which are these things. So on the end there, it's got a part number, and that ties up with this part number here. The boring bar holder is this one that I explained. So that is the part number there, which matches up with this. Size C. What was C? Don't think we needed C. Size D. So this was our spindle size. So where I said it has that little spigot on the cross slide, which I machined off of mine, it can be either a 20 or a 16. It doesn't really matter. But the maximum can only be 20, which is what the size of the hole in the bottom is there. Size E is the height, 47. That's fine because we're under that. We've got 38. And size F is the distance from the center of the tool post to the front of the cutting tool. And again, as was 52. So we're more than 42, which means that obviously the tool will reach over the end of the cross slide. I hope all that makes sense, but that's how you basically determine the size of the chuck that you need. So I did all the measurements, but what I also did was I emailed Peter with all the information, and he just replied and confirmed that I'd selected the right one. So that gave me peace of mind there. And the last thing for me to do once it's actually fitted is if I take this off the top, and this is what tells you what angle your tool is at. And when you fit it, you set it so that the 0 is towards it, I believe, if that's right. I might be wrong with that. I need to double check, but I believe that's what it is. So you'll notice these 3 holes. Now, when you fit the tool post on, what you're supposed to do is set your compound at whatever angle you normally set it at. Now, I normally set mine at 30 degrees, and you set it in a position so that these holes, you put a tool in, and it needs to be parallel with your compound. And then they give you this pin. So what you do is you align your tool when it's in the right position on here. So you set this, put your tool in, clock it at 0, and then this is just a dowel that you put in. And the idea of that is that the center column doesn't rotate, but the outer column where your tool holder is does. So as you can see, it's an absolutely stunning piece of kit. It's serrated on the bottom so that it bites into your cross slide. So let's get it fitted, and then we can show you just setting up, getting it zeroed, and we can have do a test cut with it. So after much playing around, I decided I didn't like the original bolt that came with it. So I've made up this spindle. It threads into the top slide and gives me a 10mm thread. And then what I'll do, I'll fit the tool post and then see how many threads I've got left, and I'll make a nut for it. So here we are, this is it all fitted. I am going to tidy up this nut. I'm just using the nut that I had from the last one, but I have to say it fits incredibly well. I'm really pleased with how it sits on there. The repeatability of the tools is fantastic, which is obviously every time you change a tool it goes back in exactly the same space. And yeah, quality wise I'm really pleased. So I've got my indicator set to 0 here. There is a tiny little bit of play in the needle. There you go, you can see it's bang on 0, but I've clocked it on the front here and it's 0 to the chuck, which is what I wanted. Yeah, and like I say, one of the other advantages now means that I can put 16mm shank tools in, or up to 16mm shank tools, whereas before I couldn't. So that obviously opens up a lot of options, and I've actually got some 16mm tools from a previous job, so really pleased with it. I think you'll agree it looks absolutely stunning. So this is the Pewe Tools AS size multi-fix. Like I say, to change the tool, let's just draw it back a bit. So to change the tool, you just pull the handle towards you, pull the tool off, select your new tool, drop it on, push your handle away, and you can take the handle away and you've got nothing around the tool post whatsoever. So yeah, there you go. All in all, I hope the video is helpful. Like I say, I think I found the hardest bit was selecting the right size tool post for the size of the lathe that I've got. This is it's either a 712 or a 714 size lathe, which is what most of the Chinese ones are, and the AS one is the one that suited mine. So please do your homework. I hope the guide helps you as well. And you know, the last thing is get your sizing, what you think it is. Send Peter a message, he's very helpful. Make sure you get the right one. So thanks very much, guys. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments below. If you're into RC, then have a look at loads of my other videos, because that's predominantly what I do. But like I say, I made this video because I struggle to get the right post, and I'm probably sure that you will as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.